Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is officially the Trophy Cup time. This is the final race, really, of the 2025 season out here on the West Coast. The final large payday on the line. You can see the Charlton Motorsports 21 right here behind me. Night number 1 of 3. We're going to head up to the racetrack and talk a little bit about this unique format and what we have to do to put ourselves in position to be this year's Trophy Cup champion. So it's pretty simple with this race. Basically, it's all about the amount of points that you accumulate throughout the weekend. Now, there's going to be a winner of Thursday, a winner of Friday, and a winner of Saturday, but just because you win any of those nights doesn't mean you're necessarily in position to be the Trophy Cup champion. And that might sound a little bit confusing. Of course, if you win, you're probably sitting good, but with this race, there's inverts on both Thursday and Friday in the heat race and in the A main event, and qualifying points are also important. So they add up your points from Thursday and Friday. They take whatever night you ran better, and that sets you up for Saturday, where I think again you also run another heat race. You're on track quite a bit, and then Saturday they invert the entire field, so the highest point car starts last, and whoever accumulates the most points and makes a run through the field is essentially going to be the Trophy Cup champion. So there's good money on the line for running up front in all the A main events, but at the end of the day, whoever accumulates the most points is going to be walking out of here with $30,000. That's what it pays to win the Trophy Cup, and we will keep you guys up to date with the format as we roll through the weekend, because again, it's not necessarily something that's very traditional. And here's a quick look at the racing surface. They're continuing to kind of work on the track. You can kind of see like the top layer almost seems kind of dry. This area got a lot of rain earlier in the week, so I think they've been just hesitating a little bit to get out here and get too much water. The top may look a little bit dry, but it sounds like there's quite a bit of moisture underneath. Now with that, we got over 60 360s in the pit area. We just drew in, so we're going to be going out early in the first flight of qualifying, and that will set us up for the rest of the evening and leading into the weekend. I think we started our Trophy Cup about right where we want to be. Drew early, so we have a little bit more of a gripped up racetrack than what maybe some of the later guys are going to see, and we popped up to the top of the boards within the first 10 cars. We had about 2/10 on second place, so fingers crossed that's going to be good enough to hold on for QUICKTIME, get those valuable points. You try not to put too much pressure on yourself, but at the end of the day, qualifying is very important in this format. So my goal tonight was just to put a lot of focus on hot lapping well. The racetrack was kind of marbly, like we were the first group out, and this place will deceive you, and then all of a sudden some grip showed up, so we hot lapped well, top of the board, and we're hoping to hold on now for qualifying. So just putting a lot of focus there, because if you don't start the night where you want, you guys have seen we're always fighting back, and tonight we want to be fighting from where, well, we're going to be fighting from the back anyway because the inverts, but fighting there with a lot of points, and yeah, now just move on and put our focus moving into this heat race and see where we end up. So we held on for QUICKTIME to start the weekend. Now they have to go and qualify the other half of cars for Flight B. You can see Drew and I just talking about how we can kind of make our package better, figure out what I need to do behind the wheel, and if we need to make any adjustments into this upcoming heat race. You can see the racetrack. It's kind of turning into classic Tulare here. The camera does not do it justice, but it's getting rough. The holes are getting sketchy, and you can kind of tell by our conversation here as a team, our facial expressions anyway. The hole's getting big. We're moving into this heat race, and we have an 8-car invert, so we're going to be rolling off from row 4.
To kick off Thursday night, a Trophy Cup heat race is underway. Heat race number 1 comes to the line. About a 21
Well, not how we wanted to back up our qualifying run there, guys. Got into the wall off of turn 2. I need to watch it back from the onboard. There wasn't a ton of, I don't know, like I was trying to drive around the car in front of me. I kind of was trying to go above the hole into turn 1, and there was kind of a car, there was the car 2 cars ahead of me, and I was kind of watching both of them as they were sliding up the track, and I had entered higher to try to get a good run, and I had a run coming off the corner, and it's like I was about to maybe get 7th, and then we basically just ran out of room. The wall was coming extremely fast. I don't know if I kind of got pinched, or I mean, I know that like I said, the wall came up quick. At the same time, it's almost like it's really crumbly off the top, and kind of got in a 4-wheel slide like just on the very exit, and it's like I said, the wall came up faster than I was expecting. Anyway, it is what it is. A racing deal, I guess, or I just need to watch the replay back, but really unfortunate. And unfortunate some took us out like that there so early in the heat. You know, the first lap I just avoided a little bit of chaos. They wrecked and kind of was in the wrong spot there, and then the spot that I was in there didn't work out either. So anyway, we started 8th, finished 9th. We didn't finish last because one other car had fallen out, but I'm assuming now we're going to obviously have to go to a B main event. Our qualifying points are going to help us a little bit, but we'll see how things shake out, and we can't let this deter the rest of our weekend. It's important to bounce back, so the team's fixing stuff now. I'm just kind of take a second. It's frustrating, I won't lie, but it's also part of racing. So the Trophy Cup's not an easy format, and you just feel that pressure trying to go forward, and that's where you put yourself in positions like that to take that chance, because you need every point that you can get to try to get in the A and be in the right spot.
Oh, you ready?
So we're rolling off from 5th in the B main event. They just tallied up all the points. No matter where all the points are, how close things are, or this or that, what we could have done, should have, could have, would have, whatever the saying is, we have a job to do now. We start 5th in this B main event, the top 6 transfer. This is a chance for us to feel out the racetrack, get some laps in race mode, get into the show, and move forward. So just focusing on bouncing back here and making great laps here in the 21 car rolling off from row 3. So starting close to the bubble spot in the B main event is not what we were looking for, but we knew this was just a situation that we had to overcome. And throughout this entire race was really just trying to do everything I could to get towards the top 4. I felt a lot safer in the top 4 than I did being in 5th or 6th, and at one point I even did drop back to 6th, but had some stuff go my way to get a few spots back. At the same time too, as we were driving hard trying to keep our car in one piece, as the racetrack's still pretty rough. You can see the holes are aggressive and you have to drive through them. There's not a lot of ways to avoid them, but anyway, this is sometimes how a night looks. So we're overcoming some adversity here. We raced some guys really hard, and we were able to transfer into the A main event, and we now have a very quick turnaround to head back out for 30 laps. So as we near the end of the race, it's looking like we're gonna finish about 13th, but this is when the Thunderbowl shows why it is called the Thunderbowl. The top two get together coming to the checkered flag. One car goes flipping.
Lap car right in front of your leaders. TK at the bottom, they come together off of turn number 4. Oh my gosh, red flag flying.
So now we have to do a green and a white, basically a one-lap shootout. So we move into 12th, and then on that last lap, it looks like we're gonna finish 12th. Spencer Baston loses the right front. He goes flipping, the red comes out, but one car had crossed the line, so we actually ended up finishing 11th. Never made it to the checkered flag, but they reverted back a lap. So that's how we basically gained a few spots at the end of the race.
Well, guys, we survived. I think we finished 11th
I think so. Yeah.
Finished 11th from 22nd. I don't know. I mean, I don't really feel excited or nothing. I mean, I think that we passed cars, so that was good. Again, we survived. I just don't feel like I ran a great race. I mean, again, I passed cars, but it just sucks when you feel like you leave something on the table for the entire night. Just probably a moment like this, you start thinking again about the heat race and then just all the hard work we had to do then for the feature, and you know, we wish we would have had to cut about half of those spots, right? You know, started anywhere from 6th to 12th because we would have been in that invert for points, but it is what it is. Again, happy the 21's in one piece. I just wonder, in the B main event, we took a really hard bounce on one of those laps, and I'm still not convinced that maybe something isn't wrong in the rear end. It just seemed like my car didn't go through the holes as good, and I just was struggling with that. Again, I was still making speed. I raced some guys. I got myself in okay spots, but just need to clean some stuff up. And, you know, I'd like to have been much closer to a perfect race, but we'll take plus 11, and we got a chance again tomorrow to improve.
Well, walking out here on the racing surface, I feel like you can just put my videos on repeat when I talk about this place. Like, it is it's one of the most mind-blowing tracks in the nation. What I mean is, like, what you see is not necessarily what you get. You get so many different versions of Tulare every time you come here. It's not predictable at all. Here's a look, and this actually doesn't even look as bad as earlier. Here's the hole that developed in turn 1 and 2. You can see where the racetrack broke apart. In qualifying, this looked way worse. Drew Warner, my crew chief, looked at me and he said, don't go through that, whatever you do. Above it or below it, you got two options. 3 and 4 got, you know, more on the fence down there, especially the last 10 laps or so of the feature. Yeah, and it's just tough, like in the position that we are in, you know, being so far back in traffic, you know, you got to set up your race car to be free, because if you're too tight, you're not going anywhere. I mean, it's pretty simple. The 360 is heavier and you don't have as much horsepower, so when you get into trouble, it's a lot harder to get out of it. 1 and 2, the diamond line was really good, or even once it cleaned up, just letting your speed carry around like the middle. 3 and 4 was pretty top dominant, and it was tough. Like, you had to slide cars down there. You can make it happen when guys got close to each other, but once everyone spread out, I felt like that end was tougher to make passes. And I know some of you guys are gonna say, Tanner, the track's the same for everyone. Absolutely, it absolutely is. It's just one of those things where track position is key, and when you're kind of up front and you just have that little extra pace, you have a little bit more open track, you know, within the top 3 or 4, you can race it a little bit differently than, you know, where we were at, basically 12th to 20th, where it's a little bit more of a hornet's nest. You don't have as much, you know, clean air. You're trying to search around. Guys are going everywhere, so you have to be able to run a good race. And again, that's just where I take responsibility, and I could have cleaned up, you know, I feel like maybe 3 or 4 positions and advanced forward if I could have just really dialed in my race. But still, for us to go forward, that's good, and we made up some points. So yeah, that ends night number 1 of the Trophy Cup. The best advice, and I've said it many times on the channel, you pull a tear off and you move on to tomorrow. With this format, they take your best night. So tonight was okay. We absolutely want to do more tomorrow. Maximize our points, start farther up in the feature, and put together the entire night. And you can't let what happened today dictate tomorrow. Tomorrow's a fresh start. We're here to do exactly what we did today, which is our job. Just want to work on our execution and you know, connecting all of the dots. So thanks to Tarlton Motorsports. Love racing with these guys. They're just a great group, you know. I mean, something like that happens in the heat race, they pick me up as a driver, get it fixed, we go back out, transfer, and make the most of our night. So you got to have good people around you in this sport. I've been so thankful for the opportunity these guys have given me in the 2025 season, and just how everyone in the organization has embraced myself and my family. Like, it's awesome. It really is. And again, it's just great to know know great people in the sport and get to race with them. So thank you guys for watching. Again, there's more work to do this weekend, more money to chase, and we'll be back in 24 hours. See you guys there. Deuces.